So good to be with everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend and you're not getting too much cabin fever, hopefully. So we have a really packed agenda today, pretty exciting stuff. So I've just got a couple updates for you, and then we're going to move to Mark McCulley, who's going to talk a little bit more about financing with me, and then Lorraine's got some updates on marketing, which are really great. The stuff that Lorraine and Melissa are putting out on your behalf is really amazing. And then Angela's got some other updates, and we've got an agent panel as well. So we had a number of our top agents and managers volunteer. We asked them to, kind of just give you some hints about how to navigate this environment. Because of course, this is all new territory for all of us. So in any event, so let's start with a couple updates. So, first of all, the most important thing is everybody stays healthy and safe, and we're following the guidelines that we've been given by both the federal government and our states. So obviously be mindful of that, and your health and safety and that of your customers and clients and families is a top priority. We've decided that what we're going to do going forward is that we're not going to put out our weekly Monday flash report, and we're going to put out a daily bulletin at 5 o'clock every day for updates. So we're going to consolidate all the updates, everything that's going on, and we're going to put everything into a daily bulletin that you'll get. Up here real quick. That you'll get, which will have just what's going on. I mean, everything is so fluid that it could be, for mortgage, or it could be from marketing, it could be from title, anything that's going on with the states or the municipalities. So you'll be getting, look tomorrow for a 5 o'clock bulletin. We'll send it out as a push email to everybody, but that's where we're going to consolidate all the information, and that will be every day at 5 until we no longer need it. So next, I want to talk about the states real quick. So New Hampshire and Maine have classified real estate as essential businesses. Vermont has not done so yet. We're hoping that they will. So being classified as essential, and one of the reasons why we're classified as essential is that it's basically housing and shelter. So there is the expectation that we will continue to provide our services, and the fact that we've been classified essential is really a big deal, because many businesses have not been. And so I think it speaks to the important nature of what you do every day. So, it's, I guess, kind of look at it as it's safe to get back into the water, and, keep going with your practice, the best you can as you're navigating through the certain guidelines that we have to follow, and understand that being classified as an essential business is, it means that we're important to the citizenry of our states, and we're important to the economy. And that's the reason why we get classified that way. Housing and shelter, there's nothing more important than other than your health and family than housing and shelter. So COVID addendums. So we've provided the guidance that use the COVID addendum that each state has issued. And the reason for that is that that it's just going to be simpler. The language in some of these addendums and all that, we take some exception with the language, but generally that it would probably just be easier just to use those addendums that each state has sanctioned. Now, that said, only use the addendums if you need them. If you don't need them, don't use them, okay? Because it does kind of junk up the deal, and it does add another layer of complexity to it. The other is that if you've got listings that don't want to be shown or want to be taken off the market, remember, just to take them off the market temporarily, don't terminate the listing, because we're going to get the all clear sign on this shortly, and we're going to want to go right back into business. So again, don't terminate the listing, just take it off the market. This coming Thursday, we'll have another call at 1 o'clock And on that call will be Sherry Chris will join me, and we'll be talking about what she sees nationally and how that dovetails into the world as we know them. And I think that's it. I got some chats coming in that we'll deal with those after. And somebody asked me about Massachusetts. So Massachusetts has, I don't know if they've classified Massachusetts as real estate in Massachusetts as an essential business. However, the classification in New Hampshire, the how we operate in Massachusetts is the same as New Hampshire. I think that brings up a point that I've neglected to talk about. So the way the New Hampshire order came down from the governor is that we can still conduct business, no open houses, and no in-office meetings with clients. So we cannot use the offices to meet with clients or customers. You have to do that off-site or make sure we're practicing social distancing, and or to the extent that you can do it, using the technology. You can meet with them, either on site or someplace else, but we can't use the offices for that. Okay, so can we bring Mark on? Lorraine?
Chris, can you hear me all right?
So
Chris, can you hear me?
Calling. Let's just see here.
We can hear
Chris,
you, Mark.
can you hear me?
We can
Okay.
hear Mark. Chris may not have his speakers on, but we can hear him.
Okay.
Okay, I have lost my sound. There you go. Mark?
Yeah. Hi, Chris.
Hey, all right. Thanks for being here.
Good.
You guys,
Yeah.
What's new? Staying busy?
Trying to stay from going crazy at home.
Yeah. Hey, so a couple questions. So I had some really good financing questions from agents that called me over the weekend. And I have one comment about it, first of all, and maybe you can explain this to everybody. It's really important that you're using trusted lenders right now. You've got to use people like CMG, our partner. And if for some reason you can't, you be using a local bank or other people that are more local. Using a mortgage broker, and I'm not picking on anybody, but like Rocket Mortgage or any of that, you got to stay away from that, because you're going to want to be working with people that are not only trusted, but that you've got very clear, quick lines of communications with. Mark, can you, two things. One, talk about the difference between a mortgage broker and a mortgage banker, just so everybody understands that. The second piece is, and which is one of the situations we ran into over the weekend, are we seeing credit level changes? People that, the required credit scoring is gone up on some loans?
Yeah. So good questions. And to your point, Chris, everybody should be very well aware and have a great deal of trust with who they're working with right now. There's a lot going on in our industry. So to answer your question about broker versus mortgage lender or even banker. So a broker is typically utilizing a third party, meaning they will originate the loan and likely process the loan, but they will send it to their broker or lender to be underwritten. So they may be local in terms of the originator. They may even have a local processor, but they will be sending that loan out. And in fact, it will be disclosed by the broker, not by the local loan officer or even the processor. So you've got that level of sort of, someone you probably don't know on the underwriting level, and it's more likely a centralized platform somewhere to underwrite it. We are called an independent mortgage banker, although we're not a bank at all. We're a lender, and we do everything local. So as you guys know, we do the origination right from the very beginning all the way through the end, which would be the closing and post-closing. And that's really the difference. So, with a broker, you have to worry about how they change their mindset or their degree of credit risk. That may change. Brings up a very good point and something everybody should be aware of. There is just a lot of, I would call it rumor, but there's a lot of reality out there as well regarding what lenders are doing regarding credit right now. A couple examples. So as you guys all know, when I got on the call Friday, I talked about New Hampshire Housing and how they were that day just taking new applications. Great. There are lenders out there who are no longer doing any FHA business, or they've taken their FICO score minimum requirement and ramped it up to at least 640 or possibly 680, which makes a huge difference in that tranche of borrower. And this really all comes down to the amount of risk that each lender wants to take and the funky world we live in right now where folks on the other end of this just aren't buying high risk loans. And that would be your bond loans, your FHA loans, and some of the high down payment conventional loans as well. So whoever you have been working with, make sure you're asking the right questions. I do know of lenders that are, they may have taken in some government loans, they didn't lock them, and now they're not honoring those. They're only honoring FHA or VA or even bond loans if they were locked.
So just so you guys, for those of you who don't know who Mark is, so Mark runs CMG Mortgage, which are Great East Mortgage in our partnership for Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts. So Mark?
Correct.
Yeah. So Mark runs the entire region for CMG, and Mark and I have worked together for what, 15 years, something like that.
About that.
Yeah. So a very trusted friend and business partner. So with people moving up the credit scores, the FICO scores, what's CMG's capabilities with that? If someone finds themselves where they're running into that situation.
Yeah, so we've actually rescued a number of loans that have come down the pike. And I will tell you, just before this call, I got an email from our national retail manager who said that CMG will not be taking the same position on raising FICO scores for government loans at this time. I do have to preference my comments, much like you said, Chris. Everything changes minute by minute today. I can only tell you where we are today and right now, and I will tell you that our feeling on this is it's really upon us, and it's our obligation to the community, if you will, to provide these types of loans to individuals who probably need them most right now. So I'm happy to say, as of right now, we've had no changes to FICOs. We've made some changes, as you heard on Friday, with requiring verbal verifications of employment. We now need those within 5 days of closing, which means we need to verify that they are working and that their income works. We've made some changes to the appraisal piece. We're actually expanding that. That has now been expanded to government loans as well. So in lieu of an appraiser going into the property, an interior inspection, we are now able to take what Fannie and Freddie has done and allow for either an exterior or a desk review, which is huge when you're looking at a government loan. So that was a good piece of news we got over the weekend.
Good. Great. Anything else coming in that we should be paying attention?
You know, I just say, reiterate what you said. You know, things are changing so dramatically. And, you know, our leader, Chris George, has said to us, be comfortable being uncomfortable right now. And it's a tough thing to sort of digest. But the reality is, and I say this to my team all the time, you really have to throw logic out the window. You know, we're going through questions about where rates are going and why can't we do this, or we used to be able to do that, or I used to know how to price. It's just a really, really difficult time right now. And I would just say to everybody, you know, as you started with, Chris, work with someone you trust, work with someone that's going to give you the answers, and most of all, someone you can interact with, because as we've always said, this business is all about high tech and high touch. And if you don't have both, especially right now during times of need, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that's great. Thanks for making time to be on the call. I know everyone really appreciates it. It's a changing environment. And so when getting back to my comment about we're going to have a bulletin that goes out every day at 5 o'clock, there will be financing updates in there, title updates, all that type of stuff. So as Mark is getting changes, he'll feed them to us, and then we'll be able to include it in our daily update. So that's great. Excellent. Thanks for being such a great partner.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. Next, I'm going to turn the rest of the call over to our very gifted and talented teammates. And we're going to start with Lorraine. and she's going to walk you through all the changes that they've made, that she made actually on your behalf over the weekend to the website and kind of organizing all the marketing materials.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
All yours.
We have a lot of updates. Things are literally changing minute to minute, as you all know. We're trying to keep up, and we're trying to make sure that we have a centralized resource where you can go to get all the information that you're looking for. So I'm just going to do a quick screen share. If there's anyone that has not yet seen our COVID-19 guidance page, we did some reconfiguring over the weekend, trying to make things a little bit more organized so you can find exactly what you're looking for. And then as this page continues to grow, which it will over the next weeks and unfortunately months, we will be able to keep everything organized. So whatever you're looking for, we're going to put the latest updates right here in the top so you'll know that things have changed on the page since the last time you visited. News and information, we have all the latest guidance in each state, and bear with us while we get that updated. We're posting all of the videos like these, so if you miss any of the live videos, you can go watch the recordings. We've got lots of materials and things in here for all aspects of business, and this, like I said, will continue to grow. The newest thing that we've added, we are super excited to roll this out, is a new feature in TMG Connect for virtual open houses. So during this crisis time, and we suspect even beyond, the new way of conducting open houses is going to largely fall online. So we now have the ability within TMG Connect to post those virtual open houses. So I have a video here that explains how to do it, but just in a nutshell, you will schedule ahead of time that you're going to be doing a virtual open house on this date and this time, where you plan to be at the home streaming live via Zoom or via Facebook Live or any number of platforms. You'll let people know how and when that they can attend that open house. And then when you start streaming live, people will be able to connect right there. And then we had another feature that just rolled out moments ago. This is hot off the wire. And that is the ability for us for consumers, when they come to our website, to request virtual showings. So what will happen is, and we'll have training on this too, but when you go into your account and you say which platforms you feel comfortable with using, if somebody wants to set up a private virtual showing, you can say, I can do Zoom, I can do Google Duo, or whatever it is that you're comfortable doing a face-to-face video chat on. And so then on your website, if somebody wants to get in touch with you on one of your listings, they will request the virtual showing right there, and it will have only the platforms that you have already said you're interested in. So if they say, I want to connect via Zoom, you already know how to use Zoom and you'll be able to connect. So that will be, they will just come to the website on any property they click on. I'll demonstrate this real fast. So let's click on this $8.4 million home. Why not? When they go down on the page to, this is where they would normally request a showing, but now they can request a video showing. And so they would do that. And this particular, we have our company settings to be just Zoom, because we think we're either everybody is up to speed or is rapidly becoming up to speed on how to use Zoom. Over time, we will do more training and add more things into this platform. But on your particular listings and on your particular website, you can add several platforms if you're familiar and comfortable. So much more to come. Again, that just rolled out moments ago. So we wanted to get that message to you. Chris already did mention the daily bulletin, so I won't spend too much time on that, but with things changing as quickly as they are, and you're getting emails from all different places, we're gonna try and make that really easy for you, consolidate everything down into a 5 o'clock in the afternoon email of all the things you need to know from that day. And then those will all be archived in one central location, so that if you need to refer back or if you miss one or whatever, they'll all be in one place. Let's see. The next thing, we've had a couple of requests for more consumer messaging. So I want to let you know what we're doing on that front. We have a lot of consumer messaging in the pipeline. We're getting things out this week, including new TV ads, speaking direct to the consumer. Chris is going to be recording some videos speaking to the consumer that you can then share with your sphere. And we're also working on other tools that you will be able to use to speak directly to consumers. We'll be tapping into our partners for some messaging on certain aspects that may be confusing or concerning right now. So we'll give you that communication that you can then send out to your sphere. And then I guess my last point would be just to continue to let us know in marketing what you need, how we can support you during this time. Is there messaging that you need? Are there tools? Just whatever the case may be, don't hesitate to reach out, and we want to make sure that we're supporting you in any way that we can.
Yeah.
Rebecca's question, they will likely come from me, Rebecca. They will come from marketing because we'll need to archive them anyway. So you can just have them be looking for that message from me. Same as the news flashes used to come directly from me. This will now just be the next phase in that level of communication.
And Lorraine, there's another question about the non-live version of the video platform. Basically, that's what we're allowing for, right? Is the posting of the video for showing, right?
Yeah, posting in the, so if the question's about training, is there like a step-by-step training? We can absolutely put that together. It's just in the matter of speed of getting these things out. Video is faster, but if we're looking for a step-by-step how to do it, we can absolutely do that. And the other question, was that the question?
Well, so once you take a video of the house, right? You can,
oh, yeah.
Right. You don't have to go out, you don't have to go out and do a video every time somebody requests a video showing.
Yes, correct. We have now and have always had the ability to upload any videos into your listing. So if you want to do a video walkthrough of the home, or if you have like a Matterport video walkthrough, anything like that could be uploaded directly into the listing now, and business support specialists can help with that. We can help with that as well. Yeah, and actually we highly recommend that with everybody kind of sheltered at home right now and doing their home searches online, let's give them as robust an experience as we can. So I would highly recommend, if you have videos or feel comfortable going back to the home and shooting a video, get it uploaded so that we can provide that rich experience.
Yeah, really right now, for whatever listings you have, if you haven't already done so, I'd go out and take even if it's just going through your phone and taking a video of it so we can post it. You might as well, because we're certainly going to be in this situation for a while, right? All the notices have been extended really into May. So if you've got 5 listings right now or something like that, go out and do all 5 of them. And then that way you've got them all set. And then when somebody wants a video of the house, you can just go ahead and send it to them.
And I'm sorry, I actually do have another update. I'm sure you've all seen, or maybe you haven't in the flurry of messages, but BH&G is putting together a series of virtual trainings for agents. Those are more on like business development kind of things, but we are also in the process of putting together a real tangible series on how to use some of these platforms that we're talking about, how to do a Zoom call, how to update your website, how to do these certain things. And we'll be doing those twice a week. That calendar of trainings will be coming out very soon as well. They will be recorded, so if you can't attend live, there will be a library of them. Because we know we have a lot that we're all trying to come up to speed on, like very quickly, in response to what our consumers are asking for and need from us right now. So we want to make sure everybody is comfortable in using these things and have what they need. So watch for that coming very soon as well.
Yeah, great. That's excellent. Yeah, Lorraine, as you guys know, is our marketing director for the whole company, and assisting her is Melissa, and they're so talented and doing such a great job for everybody. So thank you so much.
You got it.
And I know how much everybody appreciates it, especially I'm seeing all the comments coming in. So
cool. Thanks.
All right. So next is Angela. And for those of you who don't know Angela Levesque, Angela runs the state of Maine for us. And she's been taking on a lot of the training, and she has the Pump Up the Volume program and all that. So does an amazing job with that. So Angela, I'm not sure what you have planned first, so I'll just turn the call over to you, and you can guide everybody through it.
Super. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. So first, we're going to talk a little bit about Pump Up the Volume. Glad you mentioned that. So what we're going to be doing with Pump going forward, right? It's going to be a lot of activities right now. And, you know, it's kind of like, how do you compassionately stay in the game, right? We need to be human, but we need to be reaching out to our sphere right now because business is going to bounce back and we need to stay top of mind, right? So one of the first things I really want you guys to be doing is blocking off some time daily on your calendar, right? So this is your job right now. If you're not out physically, actively meeting with buyers and sellers right now, this is what you need to be doing, right? These are the activities we need to be doing. And then step 2, if for whatever reason you didn't join us in Win in One on 4th quarter, right? Now's your time. I'm asking you to go back into TMG Connect, okay? Pull up Win in One, check that out, and reach out to your business support specialist as well. Getting your CRM up to date and fully loaded into TMG Connect right now is really one of those things we need you to do. Once you've got that done, and then reaching out and doing some of these other things, super easy to do. So some of the things that we're giving you to do are going to be some share up-to-date and accurate information, right? Our COVID-19 resources, a great page to keep going to, keep sharing that in your social media spheres, right? Wellness checks, right? How awesome is it to just call somebody and say hi? We really take for granted how many times in the course of a day we see another human and we just, you know, hey, how are you? That kind of thing. People are really craving to hear your voice right now. So make sure you do that. Could you do some pick up and drop off services right now? You know, who learned cursive, who remembers it, right? How about those handwritten notes? I know that Lorraine has put some great ones up on the marketing page. And then some of my favorite ones, right, are offer a service. Everybody's working from home and trying to teach their kids right now. Who could maybe do a story time for a half an hour? One day a week. So maybe the mom and dad could put the kids in front of the screen and you could read them a book or anything else like that. Who's musically talented? Some of those different things you can do. And tech savvy, right? Can you help your people out with Zoom and those kind of things? All of these things you'll find on the Pump Up the Volume page, okay? We're not going to give you specific tasks weekly, but we're going to just keep refreshing this and putting new things there. You're all used to going there, so keep going there. So that's what I have for Pump Up the Volume. And then we have our panel, and I'm super excited. Today on the panel, we have Gina Letourneau, Linda Gardner, Nancy Proctor, Elaine Pelletier, and Nancy Walsh. And these women are wonderful. Some of our top producers in the company. And they're just rocking the business. And ladies, if you wouldn't mind, if you could go and unmute yourselves so that we can start talking about some of the things that you're doing for activities right now. So I'm going to start out with Gina. Gina, you and I have had some fun phone calls. And can you hear me? And can I hear you?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, so welcome. One of the first things I'm going to ask you, what are some of the activities that you're doing right now to stay top of mind with your sphere?
To be honest with you, I've always been a phone girl, so I've been connecting with my clients, and everybody just wants to hear your voice. You know, and I think at the end of the day, you don't even necessarily have to bring up business, but if they're thinking business, they're asking you questions. What's the market doing? I reached out to one of my clients who I know has a house to sell the other day. He works for FedEx, and I just kind of texted him and said, how's everything going? You guys got to be crazy busy. You know, is there anything you need? And then 2 minutes later, like, what's the market doing? Like, I think I'm ready. So I think he's going to be doing something within the next week. So I think it's just a matter of, you know, just reaching out to people. I've got a lot of older people in my sphere, just making sure that they're all set with groceries, if they need any help. You know, some of them have kids in the area, some of them don't. Nobody has asked me to do anything for them, but they're like super appreciative of just the call. And I'm grateful. So that's kind of been what I've been doing. I've listed probably 6, 7 properties, which we've put all of them under in the last 2 weeks. And I was not feeling well for a time. So I basically did everything electronically. And I actually asked clients to send me photos because I was kind of self-quarantined for a little bit. And we've managed to sell all of the properties. So we've kind of been working as a team in conjunction with the sellers.
Great info. Thank you so much, Gina. I really appreciate that. I'm going to go to Linda Gardner now. Linda, are you available?
I am. Hi, how is everybody doing?
Hey, so
Hey.
thanks, Linda. You and I had a great conversation the other day. And why is it important to keep going with your business right now?
Oh, you need to do that because this isn't going to last forever, and you need to be in position when things go back to normal. And so you want to make sure, I will say this is probably going to weed out some brokers and some agents over this time period. Make sure you're not one of them. What I have been doing is, again, to repeat what Gina said, calling people, getting in touch with people, staying in touch. Use this downtime. I'm usually kind of on the go all day long, every day, but lately it's just been a few appointments per day. So I'm using this time to go through my database to make some calls. I have to tell you, making calls used to make me break out in a cold sweat. I admit that wasn't one of my areas of expertise. So what I have started doing, or what I learned to do, was just call the people you feel comfortable with. Look at who you sold homes to, just start in the last 6 months. Those people are relatively, frequent and new contacts, and it isn't like you're reaching out to someone you haven't talked to in 5 years. So start with them, make those few phone calls. You'd be surprised how appreciative people are. I made a phone call the other day to someone that I closed maybe a month and a half ago, and just said, I was thinking of you, wondered how everything's going. And she said, in the gist of the conversation, she said, by the way, where can I review you online? Because I was so happy with your services. And I was like, whoa, well, let me tell you, places you can go to say nice words. So that's super important. And
That's perfect, Linda. Thank you so much. I also, do you mind if I share what you're sending out to your clients right now? Or you want to share what you're sending out to your clients right now?
Go ahead and share. I'm not sure which specific one. I just send a lot of stuff, so I'm not sure which one you're talking
really good at that. I saw some seeds in your office the other day.
Oh, yeah, right. So, mailings are great because, again, you can't do a lot of face-to-face. We're sending out little packets of seeds that say forget-me-nots. And I'm putting a label sticker on them. I don't have one in front of me, otherwise I'd show it to you. We also printed off a card, happy spring, hope you're doing well. I hope you think of me for all of your real estate needs. And I'm putting them in bright green, Better Homes and Gardens color envelopes. And we're going to be mailing those hopefully in the next week or two.
Super. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Lorena's just put in the chat, she's put up another poll. So remember, if you go to our poll, right, what is the top of thing you're doing to keep in touch with your sphere right now? So if all of you could go to your poll and put something in and let us all know what you're doing for your sphere as well, that would be super. Thank you for that. And it's masiello.com/poll is where you can find that. I'm going to head on over to Nancy Proctor now. Thanks again, Linda. Nancy, are you available?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. You look
Okay.
great. Love that smile. What's some of the activities you're doing right now to be in touch with your sphere?
Okay, so, and I kind of polled some of my agents too, to see what they were up to. One of them said they do Google Hangouts, which is an app. And it's for Android phones. So if someone doesn't have an Apple, that's another alternative. And she did a virtual tour with some of her customers on a Google Hangout app. Another suggestion, you can buy the BHD magazines in bulk, send them out, put them in, drop them off. And, people have a lot more downtime now. So it might be something, that they actually might sit down and be able to read. Then they know that it's from you. What else? Oh, and one really important thing is we actually have a decent pipeline going, but you want that pipeline to stick. So I've spent a lot of time myself following up on every single deal, calling when I haven't heard from an appraiser, which is quite common nowadays. I call the bank, I drive them crazy. I need to know who the appraiser is. Oh, we don't know. I said, well, could you please find out? I know you can find out. So as soon as I get that appraiser's name, I call them. And,
That's
you know,
perfect, Nancy. Thank you. And I'm seeing people here. And Gina's head is nodding up and down as well with your pipeline comment. And it is so super important all throughout the footprint right now that we really are mindful of that pipeline.
yeah, because you don't want things to fall through that are you already got, right? So it's like you really have to stay on all these people, inspectors, appraisers, you know, and make sure you've got your time, you know, dates in there, or get an extension if you need it. But you certainly don't want anything to fall through that you can certainly keep together at this point. So that was another thing I do on a regular basis anyway, but now more important. Because you never know, like Mark said, they're doing some drive-by appraisals, and so I always put a package together of the list of the sales agreement, all the comps, and email it to the appraiser. Makes their job easier, makes them want to, oh, I'll just get this done now. You know what I mean? They're, you know,
Yeah.
and if you know them, they'll do you a favor, you know? So
Absolutely. That's awesome, Nancy. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for sharing with us. I appreciate it. I'm going to send over to Elaine now. Elaine.
Hi,
How are
can you hear me?
Hi. What are you doing, and why is it so important to keep going in your business right now? And what are a couple things you're doing?
Well, I did get in under the wire and did a pie appreciation day just before they closed all of the customer relations. And so I got, that was actually a really fun event. I sent out, I can't remember, there's 80 to 100 postcards to my clients and offered them a pie of their choice. I had like 8 choices. So that was kind of fun. I got them to come into the office. They got to meet with me. They gave me names of people who might be selling, which helped me to kind of expand right now in this market. So I've got lots of clients I'm reaching out to, lots of customers that I don't know yet, that I'm trying to, you know, pull the spear in that way. So that was kind of fun. It was a great event. I got to see past clients that I haven't seen. Face-to-face is important. However, now with our social distancing, it's a little harder. But phone calls, I've been making phone calls to past clients, asking if they know of anybody who's looking to sell, sending out postcards, you know, I think is the best way, just like everybody else mentioned. I think if we can keep in touch with our people and stay at the forefront, it makes a difference. They're afraid. I mean, we're afraid of some of the stuff that's going on. And I think if we reassure them, you know, that we're here and we're going to do everything we can to keep them safe. My listings right now, sellers are really nervous. So I encourage them to continue to stay on the market. However, we're going to protect ourselves. And I have gloves in my car. I have the masks, and I've been giving masks to buyers and, you know, whoever's coming to the property to see it, which I think assures our sellers right now that, you know, they need to stay safe. But connecting with our sphere, we're home. A lot of us aren't working out as much as we have been. So it's a good time to just call, check in on them. Like Gina said, make sure if there's any of our older clients that need some help, they're not going to the grocery stores, or they shouldn't be. You know, we've offered to help that way, try to keep everybody, you know, safe.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Elaine. I really appreciate that. Would you say that you're allotting time daily to do these activities?
Probably not daily, but 2 or 3 times a week. You know,
Okay.
I'll take an hour and a half, and I'll, you know, just make some phone calls and touch base with my past clients. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Miss Nancy Walsh, we are on to you now. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Good to see your smiling face. Can you tell us some of the activities that you're doing and why you feel it's really important right now to keep your business going?
So what I did is I took my database and I decided to reclassify it from A clients, ABC clients to older clients, clients with families, and then essential workers, so that I could market each category differently than I have in the past. And it has worked out really well, especially the ones with families with children. I have their birthdays from the fun fact sheet from Ninja. So I send them their children a birthday card with a gift card to Barnes and Nobles. And I cannot tell you the response I've had by video, text, the kids calling me. It's been phenomenal.
That's great. I love, do you get your Ninja email every morning? For those of you that went to Ninja when we had that, I know a lot of our agents went that. The Ninja email in the morning is a great thing. Nancy, I'm going to ask you another question as well, because I know you knew a lot in the luxury and second home market. Are you seeing that still kind of holding? We're hearing a lot of people from away are looking back now at our second home market.
Well, interesting. I'm putting a house on in Amherst. The people are in Florida, and I'm seeing my high-end clients want to get these properties on the market. I feel like they feel like this is the top if they haven't waited maybe a couple of months too long. And I'm seeing a lot of activity on the higher end homes, and people saying, if I have to get a rental, I'll get a rental, but I definitely want to be on the market. The other thing is I think with all the great marketing pieces that Lorraine has provided with us, letting people in your database know what our company's doing, that we're on top of it, because if we don't send the material to them, I don't think they really know what a wonderful handle we actually have on all of it. So
Right.
thanks, Lorraine, for all of that.
She is awesome. And I would say I kind of open this up to all of you ladies that I've been speaking with. What are some of the materials that you're using right now that we're providing, that you are using when you're sending things out to your clients and staying in touch right now and developing your spheres?
Postcards are great.
Yeah, and the sheets for listings, requesting that people who do visit the home use some precautionary things. I've printed those on cardboard stock and I've left them in all my listings. And then there's another sheet that was posted that we can leave when we're showing a property, thanking the seller for the showing and allowing us to view the home, and all the precautionary things that we did, that we did wear gloves, that we did wear masks, that we did take our shoes off, that we touched as little as possible, or that, maybe the agent opened the cupboards rather than everybody in and out. And I've actually had 2 people comment, well, thank you for leaving that. We really appreciate you, knowing how you walked through our home. It made us feel more comfortable, I guess. So
yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's great. I appreciate it. And Lorraine put something up in chat that, oh gosh, you guys are going to love this. I got a sneak peek at it the other day and it's beautiful. Anyflip.com. She has done a distinctive collection showcase ebook. It's absolutely stunning. And those, oh good, we're going to do a screen share. Thank you, Lorraine. Those of you working in this market and looking to work in this market, for your clients that have been asking, what do we have? This is beautiful.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Very nice, Lorraine.
Yeah, super duper. Thank you. I think that is all I have, Chris. I'm going to throw this back over to you. Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, thank you so much for your for everyone's input and ideas and all that, and great information for people to follow your lead on. So thank you so much. So we're just about winding down here. A couple things. So this really right now is all about kind of preparing for the other side of this. So, inevitably with this situation, there's going to be some downtime. And we want to make sure that we use it wisely. And so I think the ideas that our panel had are great, and you want to be leveraging them. And, don't let this moment in time, go by without every day doing something that's contributing to your business. And you want to look at this, every event has a curve to it, right? So, this event, we're probably, you know, if you look at it on a curve, we're probably kind of like right here and, you know, about halfway up. And then, you know, it'll die down at some point, and then, you know, things will be back to kind of a more of a normalized business cycle where we're not having to go through all these gyrations. But everything's in place to do business. We've got all the marketing, as everyone was talking about, we have all the marketing pieces in place. And I think Linda's idea about following up, you know, post showing, everything is all in place for us to be able to function in this environment. And I think that we can reassure our customers and clients that they can transact real estate and safely, and that we've got all the right safeguards in place for that to happen. So I think that part, you know, we can feel very secure about. You know, the other thing too is that what we're living through is not an economic event like we had in 08, right? That was an economic event. This is not, you know, this is a situational event. Do we think the economy will slow down? Well, sure. I think it's reasonable to assume that. But it's not going to slow down because of economics. It's going to slow down because of this event. And as this event tapers off, it'll come back. You know, now nobody really knows what the duration of that's going to be. But again, this isn't a reconstruction of the economy like the way we had in 2008. So it's about, right now, is about continuing to practice, making sure your customers and clients know that you can meet their needs, talking about going out and doing the virtual tours, virtual showings, you know, getting those videos done, because that's something that will live on the other end of this. And for those, I'm going to date myself a little bit, but for those of us who remember the Iran hostage situation back in the late 70s, okay, Angela's laughing, right? You know, that's where Ted Koppel became famous, because he had his Nightline show, and at the end of every day at 11 o'clock, he did his Nightline show, and here's what's happened. And then that show became very popular for 20 years after that. So there are things that will come out of this moment in time that will live beyond it. And I think things like virtual showings and virtual open houses is probably one of them that will live there. So the work you're doing now isn't one-time work. It will be work that will pay dividends as time goes on, because I think it's some of these things will live outside of this event. Okay, so then look for the bulletin tomorrow at 5, and then every day after that, and then as said, Thursday 1 o'clock, we have this call with everybody, open call. Sherry Chris, the president of BH&G, will be on that call, so you'll be able to get kind of a national view of things and all that. And I would ask you too, if you have questions, you know, go ahead and shoot me an email with things that you'd like to have answered or addressed on the call on Thursday, either that's company related or that's with Sherry as well. So, and you'll have the ability to text them in during the call as well. I think we'll probably reserve that call for a lot of time with Sherry for questions and her perspective on things, and then probably more marketing updates and then whatever questions you guys have. So you're all amazing. You're doing a great job. So proud to work with every one of you. Take care.